Good morning. Welcome to In the Car with Clint number 7. I'm just on my way to Water Pro from Dry Creek, and I'm pretty confident that I'm late. I'm gonna be in Adelaide by 10 o'clock for a meeting, a very important meeting around vendor management inventory, which I spoke about recently. So I'm going to rush to Water Pro, grab some stuff. This geographical moving and jumping around is just requiring a little bit more planning on my part. So yeah, a bit of an update. I came back to Dry Creek last night and used the blower to clean up the warehouse. So I'm hoping that that's clean enough for now. We're just getting more and more stuff delivered, but we've kind of decided to build the shop after hours and at night and just concentrate on running the businesses during the day. I'm very lucky to have a very dedicated and strong group of team members around me that are willing to go the extra mile to get it done. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about negotiations and deals, because the idea behind In the Car with Clint is for me to be keeping you updated with what I'm doing, but I also want to make sure that I'm bringing value to anyone that's watching that might be just starting out in business, or that might be at the similar stage to me, that's trying to find some kind of comparison to make sure that what they're doing is right or wrong or whatever. So obviously, when you're running a business the size I do, you're always negotiating, and there's always different deals. Now, you're negotiating with customers when they're trying to buy things, you're trying to negotiate with suppliers when they're trying to sell you things, you're negotiating with electricity providers, you're negotiating with trades when they're doing work for you, you're negotiating with landlords when you're trying to find new buildings, you're negotiating with banks when you're trying to get new interest rates. Now, in my experience, I am not a super strong negotiator. I kind of want to get a little bit more, ultimately, like my standard process will be, I'll go get a price on something. If it's kind of where I thought it was going to be, I'll ask for one more thing for free, and then I'm kind of happy. So, that was a good example was when we bought the forklift. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to spend. We got good service from this company. I told them I wanted them to throw in a free pallet jack, and they said yes. And then I went, and I want I want a free toy forklift. I would have bought the deal without the forklift, but I got my forklift. Now, what's become really apparent is that sometimes when you do a deal, if one party is advantaged in the deal over someone else, they might think that they have won and that they've kind of got the best of that guy or girl. But what I'm finding is, as time goes by, those deals balance themselves out. Now, that might sound a little odd, but for example, if you buy something and the person negotiates you down to a point where you accept it but you probably shouldn't have, at some point that the person that feels like that they've won is going to have some kind of recourse, or there's going to be something like the person's not going to honour the deal, or the person that feels like they may have not got a good deal won't complete the time, or it could be anything, like a car, say. Imagine you buy a car and the person rips you off, and they think they got lots of money, and you afterwards you realise that you didn't get a fair price, and that you didn't get the deal that you thought. You're never going to buy a car from that person again. So there's that short-term economics where that person, they won that deal, but they're not going to win it again. And I'm starting to see it a lot around at the moment, or at least I'm starting to identify that it's happening to me, where we have someone that thinks they've pulled the wool over our eyes, and then they don't realise the aftershock of that is us exiting any future relationship. So the real short-term economics. One of the 12 immutable laws of Water Pro, and for me, is play the long game. And so when I'm negotiating, I'm going in with a preconceived idea around what I think something's worth and what I'm happy to do it for. And then if the person comes within that range, I'm generally like, yep, that seems fair, let's do it. Now, that person suggested the price, they're happy with what they're getting, so they're not going to be doing their dough, or they're not going to be resentful of the deal. I was close to where I wanted it to be, and there's no rule that we have to do business. You know, I had that with who was I talking to? Oh, our I don't think you'll mind me talking about it. The guy that we're using to do our online marketing for Lawn Hub. I wasn't comfortable with how much it was looking at costing. I said that it was more expensive than I was comfortable spending, but it didn't mean he had to drop his price. It was, and this wasn't a negotiating tactic. I didn't see me spending that money. I couldn't afford to do that. If he wasn't able to do it for that price, it's okay to walk away. Now, he came back with a price that was more in line with my budget. Obviously, the actual what we were getting for it probably was reduced, if I'm fair, but it was a nice way for me to taste his services before I go all in and, you know, we lock it down, and that he's our full-time guy. So I think if you were to take anything away from this in one sentence, you know, too long didn't listen, too long didn't read, whatever. Be careful not to negotiate too hard for a deal if you desire a long-term relationship with that supplier or customer, because you might feel like you had a win at the time, but if one party in a deal feels disadvantaged, the other party in the deal will eventually be disadvantaged. That's probably the easiest way to put it. So that is it for today. I hope that helps you. This was not directed at anyone specific that I'm doing any business with at the moment. So if you listen or watch this and go, is this about me? It's not about you. It's a generalization. So I get a few messages every now and then when I do a post of people going, is this because this happened? No, it's just things that come into my mind, because my mind is an explosion of colorful atoms in outer space, and all of those are ideas and thoughts, and there's just a lot going on. So I'm just trying to share that with you. It is an unbelievably beautiful day in Adelaide today. If you're not in Adelaide, I suggest you move here, unless you live in Queensland. I'm going to move to Queensland one day. If you're liking the content, please like the video. It really helps me grow the channel. We're kind of getting there. We're 83 now, nearly at 100. And if you've got any questions, let me know. I'll give you my opinion about anything. So that is it. I gotta go because the video has hit nearly 8 minutes and I've had the feedback. People don't want to watch it if it's too long. So yeah, be kind to each other, and I'll talk to you soon.